Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Another day.
Another dollar.
Yeah. Ever fresh, ever new. Presence awareness. Right here, right now. It is that essence which is indescribable, can't be said to be good or bad, pleasant, painful, happy, sad, loving, hating. It's just what is, as it is, right here, right now. And you, I, and everything else is already that. Because in it there is no separation. And it's indivisible. Can't be divided. And it's always this presence awareness, nowness, spontaneous, timeless. That's what's the problem. The problem is that we divide it. We've taken on the belief we are this person, the separate entity, the individual, and suffer accordingly. Because if you feel separate and apart from anything, there's insecurity and vulnerability in it. In that insecurity and vulnerability, all these concepts arise, and we take the stance that I am that person. I am that insecure individual, separate entity. Not taking any notice of what all the great traditions and all the great texts will tell you. There is only that. It's only the one essence, patterning, shaping, forming, appearing and expressing as everything. So you or I or anybody else can't be anything other than that. But we so have habitually been in that belief that we are this person, this separate entity. And we look around us and we see what appears to be separate, and even in all the different pattern shapes and forms, and even in this apparent body-mind, which we separate with words, sounds, it appears very much to be so. They call it a phenomenal manifestation. And the definition of phenomena is that which appears to be separate. And so, when we first started to reason, and that capacity of reason developed on us, and we learnt words like I or me, and we were seeing we couldn't relate it to the I or me, so it appeared to be other than I, other than me, or not me, not I. And it's gone on from there. But there's always been a few that have looked into it further, haven't been quite contented or happy with the way things appear to be, and have looked or been led or moved to look into it a bit further. And in the investigation, and the recognition that the false can't stand up to the investigation. If it's not the truth, it must be false. And if it's the false and you investigate it, the belief in it falls apart. And you see that, that's happened so many times with you. We looked out there into this manifestation, taking the seawater to be blue, taking the sky or the space to be blue, rainbows to be colourful, all sorts of other manifest things appearing to be real. When they're investigated, you see, the false cannot stand up to that investigation, and they fall apart. And when you look into this idea that you are this separate entity, this persona, this body-mind, question it, am I this body? And when you say, no, it can't be this body because it's my body. If it's my body, who does it belong to? Who's the me or the my that thinks it has the body? Me or I or mine, me or mine. So, we're not relating to this conceptual image, saying it's my body, it's my mind. It's just pure mind, pure patterning, shaping and forming. One essence appearing, patterning, shaping, forming as everything. And you and I and everything else are that one only, the singular. Not. And it appears, as you realise and recognise, in all this variety of labels we've put on it, names, patterns, shapes and forms, all appearing as separate. But when you look into it closely, can you separate anything from the basic space in which all this phenomena appears in? The stillness, the silence, the ever-fresh presence awareness. All these things appear in it. Can you separate them from it? Can you postulate or think of anything could be outside of space? What would it be in? And you realise what it'd have to be in space. If we think there are many spaces, again, it's only the one. The one cognising emptiness. Space is empty. Though there's many things appearing in it. When you investigate them, all these so-called things are really no thing. Not a vacuum or a void, but meaning it has no shape, no pattern, no form, no thing. It's not a thing. And look at this manifestation, you'll see the manifestation is made up of things. Things. The trees are a thing, the flowers are a thing, the chair you're sitting on is a thing, the room you're in is a thing, you're a thing, I'm a thing. Everything is a thing. But it really is no thing, because none of it is separate from the empty space, stillness, silence or screen that it appears on. So that's when they say it's everything and no thing. And that is right because it seems to be something. Investigators seem to be no thing. Like you look in the mirror, you see images in the mirror, patterns, shapes and forms in the mirror, reflections. And we take the reflections in the mirror to be separate. And you'll see an image of your own face in the mirror if you're looking into it. And you can't say it's not there. But you can't go up and try and grab a reflection out of the mirror. You can't say it is there. You can't say it's not there. You can't say it is there. Now, if it wasn't appearing on a reflecting surface, and it's just nothing but an image, a conceptual pattern, shape and form, an image appearing on that reflecting surface, then you might understand when the Sagata says nothing can trouble you except your own imagination. We're in all sorts of trouble while we're functioning from this believed in entity. There's all sorts of conceptual patterns, shapes and forms going on, ideas and concepts that are seen, recognised as not separate, not apart from it, it's just the one essence. What happens to all those seeming things? The image in the mirror again, go back to that. You can't say it's not there, but go up to the mirror and try to pull an image out of the mirror. You can't, because there's no thing there. You can't. So you can't say it is, you can't say it isn't. So that seeming separation is and isn't, good and bad, happy, sad, pleasant, painful. They're the same stick. The same with, like every other stick has two ends to it. It's not one-ended, but when we seem to divide it up, this is good, and then there's this opposite, bad. We're seemingly dividing it. But that stick, if it's the one stick with two ends on it, the good, the seemingly good and the bad are there, the pleasant and painful are there, the happy, the sad are seeming there. But they have no substance or any independent nature. They can't stand on their own. They still appear to be so, but they're not as they appear to be. So we'll look at that. And you must realise and recognise that there has never been, ever been any separation. The day and night. Can you separate the two? Winter, summer. Seemingly appearing at certain times for certain lengths of time. But each and every one of them is constantly changing. Constantly changing. Transient. And have a look at that and see how true that transient is. Have a look at that body you call you. Is it the same body you had last week? Or last year? It might appear to be so. But you know it's changed. It's changing right now, transient. Thousands of cells dying in it right now and being replaced. But it's still the one essence, still the one life. And seeing it's all the one, what must you be? You'd be like Christ when he said, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. Not talking about himself, he's talking about what that I am really means, the sense of presence. That presence awareness translates into the thought, I am. But instead of translating into the thought that I am the totality, we put it onto this believed in entity we are. I am Bob, the individual, the person. And take yourself to be that. And that brings up all other thoughts because you can't try to describe it. I am the person, I am the separate entity, I am the individual. not realizing or recognizing that I am the Absolute, or as it tells you in Isaiah in the Bible, be still and know that I am God. God is the Absolute, or the one essence. It's a label we put on the Absolute. Absolute's another label we put on it. Essence. And everything is that. One essence. But take the labels off it, what can you say about it? You can't say anything about it, but you can't negate it. You can't say it is, but you can't say it is not either, without dividing it with the Word. It's indivisible, it's inseparable. So what is there to do? If you haven't recognised it yet, and this resonates with you a bit, what's being said here, and rings a bell, realise then that if I can't separate it, I must be that. The I that I believe myself to be is that. It is that one essence. Already and ever so. I say, know the truth, and the truth will set you free. That's the truth, that I am that I am. That's how it translates as the thought, I am. That's only a thought and a word. And in the beginning was the Word. It's all made up of words, concepts, ideas, images. And the Word is not the real. How's it going?
Yeah. There's no questions yet. You go on.
How do you investigate? Well, just ask yourself a few simple questions. Who is this happening to? It's happening to me. And is me is just a word or a concept that can't be divided. Who's it happening to then? You can't say it's happening to any particular one, but it is the one that is the happening and the expression. The one without a second, not two. So you can't say it's good, you can't say it's bad, you can't say it's pleasant, painful, happy, sad, loving, hating, positive, negativity, all the interrelated opposites. That's how it's expressing and functioning. If, as we say, it's one without the second, not two, you haven't even got those opposites there. What can you do with one? Nothing can be done with it but left as it is, unaltered, unmodified, uncorrected, just as is. And Banki, a Zen monk in the 16th century, called it the unborn Buddha mind. And what he was talking about then, the unborn mind is a pure mind. When thoughts or concepts haven't come upon it to seemingly divide it up. It's pure mind. And he says everything is perfectly resolved in the unborn Buddha mind. That means when there's no concepts, thoughts going on, can't be divided, and it's not divided at all. It resolves itself without that division going on. So, have you stopped hearing? Have you stopped seeing? Have you stopped tasting, touching or smelling? If you're not without any thoughts? No, the functioning's still going on. Heart beating, breathing's happening, food's being digested. But we're not translating it all. You're not translating, well, I'm beating my heart, I'm beating my heart. I'm breathing, I'm breathing, I'm breathing. We don't even say that at all. It's happening spontaneous. Food's being digested. But when it comes to the thinking, I think this thought. Now, when you realise that the thought, I think, is only a thought also, can a thought think itself? It can't. But we said saying that thought, I think, is just another thought. We think it to be this person. We've taken ourselves away. And we think this person or separate entity can think. But when you say, I think, you formed a subject, a thinker. So now, what's the subject? The believed in persona has become the thinker. And I think this thought, whatever the thought might be, that thought is then the object, whatever it means, has become an object. It's a good thought or it's a bad thought, or it's a good idea or a bad idea. It's then because I think it, believe I think it, has become the object of the thinking. The object of the thinking and the thinker, subject object, they're duality, dualism. No longer one without a second, they are seemingly divided into two. But can there be a thinker without thinking? Well, there can't be. Can there be the thought without thinking? So thinker and thought, subject, object, duality, are not the actual. They're just the fiction. But the thinking is the spontaneous happening. That's the reality. And that applies to seeing. You're seeing right now and you say, I see. And you're relating to that subject, me, that thinks it's seeing. I'm seeing the chair, I'm seeing the sky, I'm seeing everything. That's become the object. But when I investigate that and ask myself this, I'm seeing through the eye, but can the thought I see actually see? Does the I itself tell me I see? It doesn't. It's the instrument through the seeing is happening, but it's translated by the thought I see. And the I see has become the seer. The seer through which the seeing is happening. But the seeing is the actual. The thought I see has become a seeming subject, and the object has become the seen. So seer, seeing and seen, a subject-object contained in the seer, seeing. And the thought I see doesn't say I see, can't I say. It says I see, but it can't see. The thought I see can't see just the same as the thought I see is not the seeing. Same with the hearing, the tasting, the touching, the smelling. The ing is something that's going on right now. Even if you're not thinking about seeing, all right, you are seeing right now. You are thinking right now. If you're not, the thinking's not in the forefront at the moment. You are tasting right now. You're tasting the saliva and tasting your mouth. You are touching right now. You're on your iPhones, you'll be touching your iPhone.
Yes.
But it won't be you that's doing any of it. That seeing, tasting, touching, smelling will be happening spontaneously. But there's no entity doing it. Subject, object are dualism. So there's seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, thinking, reasoning, relating, all conceptually, all believed to be so. So one essence expressing and appearing as everything. And that essence is pure intelligence energy. You got something there?
Yep.
Well, that'll do me for a while. And so Kat's got some questions, I think, from you all. Don't hesitate to ask any questions or give us your version of it. And everybody knows it.
Hello. She can stay with us.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, darling.
I've been stabbed.
But she didn't mean that. She didn't mean that.
No, she can't help but do it when she's got nothing
Yeah.
nothing to sit on. Only a thin arm, she's got to dig her claws in.
Yes, so we have a few comments, and thank you for that. There was one from Arthur. I love it when you explain the actual meaning of statements in the Bible. In college, I had a Bible professor explain how the word person in the Bible meant mask.
Yeah. Go on.
That's it. You want to comment on that?
Somebody explained it there.
Yeah. Yeah. In the Bible. That's
Yeah.
nice.
And they say it, explain it also, how it, and how it all started. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. That's all that God is, another label or a word. It goes on to say, all things were made by Him, by the Word. And that's true. God's a word, you're a word, I'm a word, me, you, and everything else is a word. Cat's a word. And there was all things were made by Him, by the Word. There was nothing made that was made. So when we learnt words, all this manifestation appeared. Up until then, it was the one essence when the words discriminated and divided. Up until then, it was there without any words, seeing and hearing, as it says in the analogy of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, or paradise. They were in paradise, and they ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. In other words, they learnt words, because good and evil are words. The tree of knowledge. And in that, and believing they were, they got kicked out of paradise, where everything was all right.
I'll get some.
Don't worry, forget about it. Go on.
Roxy says, seeing you, Bob, and listening to you, I am home. I am home.
Yes.
Just the vibration, the frequency that you are offering brings the sense of being home.
Yes. Well, I am is home.
Yes. Now we have Tanya. So this is not my body, as I cannot find a me in there.
Exactly.
So no center anywhere, just ideas or concepts about an image, me. So this body is not actually separate from anything.
That's right.
There is just an idea of separate which has been assumed to be true. No idea is true, but it still appears.
Yes.
Still clouds passing by in us the sky. Not sure, there is a question here. Cool. I'll get some silver. There is just an idea that there is more to see, or this is not seen clearly. There was the thought, I wonder what's like with no me, but that is already what is.
Well, what's it like when you go to sleep at night?
Yeah.
The me's in abeyance. It's out of sight. And that I, which is me, is just another name for I as well, isn't it? That I is a sense of presence.
Yes.
The knowing that you are right now is a sense of being present and aware. That's another way they put it, presence awareness. So that sense of being present translates into the thought, I am. And so when the Sagata say with the I amness, people think we've got to repeat the word, use it as a mantra. I am, but it's not that at all. What he's saying is stay with that sense of presence, which translates to the thought I am. And that'll take you home.
Yeah.
Because that sense of presence is always immediate. It hasn't got any beginning. It hasn't got any ending. It's eternal. Spontaneously eternal.
Yes, so there is no question, Tanya says, which is great, but there may still be some sort of a lingering or coming back doubt that, well, all right, I get it, but is there anything more? Who wants more? That is always that, it is always the mind, which the function of the mind is to ensure your survival. Of course, there's no such thing as mind, but I'm talking about the instinct. To make sure you have your needs met, the narrative is just narrating on what is going on. It's always finding something more, something better, something bigger. So that seeking mind, whether it finds more pleasure or it finds more enlightenment or it finds more understanding, that tendency to provide for that self, the sense of presence, to provide, to give something greater, bigger. That tendency is to be appreciated. You might just give it a warm smile. Oh yeah, you want to give me more, wonderful. But there is nothing more, because the being is always and never up or down, is never different, is never less or more. It's always the same. The stillness, silence, the being, the presence, it doesn't go up and down. It can't be less or more.
That's what I call it, absolute.
Yes.
You can't add anything to it. You can't take anything away from it.
But the mind still wants to give maybe more insights,
well,
maybe more understanding.
There couldn't be this so-called mind if it didn't divide into the pairs of opposites.
Yes.
There's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. It's the thinking, the labels we put on it, or the word, the thought, that seem me and other.
Yes. And then beautifully said, Tanya, that you can't find where is the body separated. It's not. It's constantly exchanging with the environment. Is one with it. Is responding to it. Is really no boundary anywhere. And the idea of clouds passing. Yeah, there is a thought. I wonder is what it is like without the me. When there is a wondering, when there is a thought, of course there is always an illusion of thinker. But when there is no thought, then you know directly how it is without the me. Because without the thought, you don't construct any me. Even in a gap between two thoughts, there is no me. Because for the me to arise, you need the thought. Without the thought, there is no me. There is a body, one could say, although even that is a stretch, because without the thought, it's just a bundle of impressions, and you can't even say how many, or you can't say the body, because that's all the interpretation, that's all already a thought.
And if you ask yourself what's wrong with right now if I don't think about it, and you can let it go or jump over the thought or do whatever you can to get that gap for just a moment, and you'll see you can't say it's good or bad, pleasant, painful, happy, sad, anything at all without the thought.
Yeah. And
thought is word, sound, vibration, a movement of energy. You breathe in and you inspire. You're bringing the air in, the life into the body, and that's where the thoughts are also coming in too, when you inspire. But when we fixate on the thought, and when we breathe out, we don't let it out with the breath, keep it there, and the more it stays there, the longer it stays there, the more problems it causes. Because out of that thought, more thoughts will come. And more thoughts, and the story goes on and on.
yes.
What's wrong with right now if I don't think about it? Well, you can't say it's good, bad, pleasant, painful, happy, sad, any of those opposites words you can't put on it at all. But the functioning hasn't stopped. Seeing still happening, hearing still happening, tasting, touching, smelling, it's all going on. The five senses are functioning, and if they're wide open, you're not fixating on one to the exclusion of the other. Well, they're free to move on, and you let the thoughts ride out on the breath. Don't try and push them out or try and get rid of them. Don't try. Just a natural, spontaneous out breath. Any seemingly concept or thought or idea, just let it ride out on it. And when you come to the end of that out breath, what's there? You'll notice there is a very, very subtle gap before the next thought comes in. Extend that till it's a little bit wider, a little bit more gap, a little bit more space. And it's the same space that we're standing in right now, or sitting in right now. The same space that's outside where everything's appearing. So you're in touch with the basic screen, the silence and the stillness that you already are. And that is all there is. Now that basic silence and stillness, is it contaminated in any way, shape or form? Unless you put the label or the word on it, which is an appearance, a dream, seeming like a dream, or an image, an imaging in, an imagining. In that gap there's none of that there, just what is. Unaltered, unmodified, uncorrected. That's a taste of your true nature. Nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. But thinking is not the enemy. We hear that, we think we've got to get rid of thinking. You don't. It's that reasoning capacity, and to need words or labels to reason with. So it can be useful, but when it's believed in, it's self-destructive. Because who can be unhappy? Me. Who can be fearful? Me. Who can be anxious? Who can be distressed? Only the me. If there's no me there, is there such a thing as distress, unhappiness, sadness, or goodness? There is a subtle sense of well-being there, as the psychoanalyst says. I can only put it negatively. There is nothing wrong anymore.
Look at me here. That will be nicer for people when you look up here as you speak.
You're coming and do the talking. Questions?
Oh. So try and look there maybe. Okay, I have the comment from Rohan. Is there, if there is no center anywhere, then can we even say that there is a body? Is it not just another label for some combination of sensations and thoughts without an I to connect all of those thoughts and sensations together, then what is the body?
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Exactly.
Yeah, even that is just an interpretation of what's happening. Now, Julia, I would love to have a Bible study with Bob. That and the essence of Raibu Gita. What do you say to that?
Well, I don't understand the Bible. Parts resonate with me,
And parts don't.
and a lot of it is rubbish too. But there are a lot of truth in it. In all of the scriptures you'll find it, a lot of the truth in different ways it's expressed. The Raibu is very good too.
Yeah, even the Anderson tales, for children, there is a lot of truth. There is
Yes.
When you have the eye for truth and when you have the heart to resonate, pointers are everywhere. It's just that one essence speaking through every flower, every passing bird.
Yeah, well, all those fairy stories, as you say, they all had a pretty good moral to them, but they all start with once upon a time.
Yeah,
So they take place in the so-called time.
that's right.
And they all end, they lived happily ever after, which negates time if it's ever after.
True. But in the middle there may be pointers.
Yeah, a good moral,
Yeah. Yeah, because it's always the same one in a different costumes. So it hides in the forms, it hides in the stories, but it is always still and ever that one. So to uncover it in everything is, it's just a matter of resonating and picking that frequency of being. Because even that pointer, when you say everything has a being, everything, even a story, it is being. And the being, we label it story, no story, body, no body, tree, no tree.
Yeah.
But it's still the being.
Yes,
that
you can't.
essence.
You can't negate the being.
No.
You can't say I am not.
Mm.
And the being, the sad part of it is the being is trying to become. And that won't happen either.
That's right.
Being cannot become. That implies a future time.
Yes.
Makes you look into all these things and see for yourself.
And Julia says, beautiful, happily ever after negates time. Happily ever after negates time. Yeah, that's true. And Barbara says she loves Raibu Gita also. And Tanya says, yes, Rohan, it is a label for some combination of sensations, colors and thoughts. Without an eye to connect all those thoughts, colors and sensations together, well, it seems there is no body, or the body is awareness, consciousness. That's right.
Yeah, it's no body.
No body, yeah. Yeah, it's a useful concept, but
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
And Thierry, centerless center, nothing here. Yes.
Nothing here, nothing there, because there can be no there without a here.
And it stands still, straight in front of you, in front of your eyes.
Yep.
Even though there is nothing, it dances in its full glory. Divya, if someone has a doubt that comes as the body is origin of thinking, imagination and emotions, and I am the body only. I have a friend who gave me this argument. I don't know what to say to him. That's a good one. Of course, the body is origination of defecation, for example, and all the other qualities of the body. Yes, without the body, you can't go to the toilet. Without the body, you can't dream. You can't imagine. Yeah, there are things that go with in a package with the body. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the assumption that because the body is origination of the defecation, then it means I'm the body or I'm the shit. Oh, nah.
No, it's the instrument through which it expresses.
That's right. Yeah.
Like a computer. Got a lot of information in it. They're not a bit of good without the power. What are you? You and I, we are the power.
Look there. Here, the camera. They are all the people that listen to you. That's why I'm sneaking out and getting the eye contact. Because it's just, they see you. Yeah, you are the power, you are the life, and the computer is just a vehicle. Like you can say you are the mouthpiece. You are the body is a mouthpiece, and you are the one that speaks. The body gives you the voice. The body gives you the. It's a vehicle, like in that movie Avatar.
Yeah.
You get the body because you need to see, you need to hear, you need to wave your arms.
Yeah. And where are the words going to come from without a body to express it?
Yeah, you need the microphone, you need the cameras. It's like you need the car to commute faster, but you're not the car. So you need the body to create the imaginations and feelings and dreams, but you're not the body.
So the body's not the thinking is not the enemy. It can be very, very useful, but it's self-destructive when we're dividing it and relating to a separate entity, an individual, a person, a me.
And at the same time, I dropped the belief that I'm the body long time ago, but I was still hanging on to a belief that I'm my emotions. So I need the body to construct emotions because I am the emotions. So in this manner, if someone still hangs on to the strong idea that they are the body or the emotions or the thinking, and they're totally happy with that, they don't need to be convinced that they are not. What for? If they are strong believers of anything, and it gives them sense of security, it gives them boundaries, that is the life expressing as that believer, as that fanaticism in any belief. And that's beautiful too. I mean, the governing belief in the whole Maya that, there is a physical death of the body, that the body is solid, that anything is solid at all. We don't question them. Why? They're part of the dream. We appreciate it as they are. It's just a belief of identification. And if someone identifies themselves as the son of Jesus or Lord or the reincarnation of Virgin Mary, and they are happy with that, it is part of the play. Let them be happy. I mean, who are we to convert people to be non-believers? It is really the questioning is only relevant in that one vehicle when the question arises. Going out there and knocking from the door to the door and trying to convert people to be Jehovah's Witnesses or anything else is almost the same, I would say, as raping their body. Raping their mind, raping their body, not that big of a deal. It is taking away the freedom. It is imposing something on people. That's why non-duality is not very profitable business, because we are having no business in converting anyone or releasing anyone from whatever the belief they adopted and they serve them. Like none of Bob's step family has remotely any clue of what he's talking about. In my family, I had my mother being quite close to it, and then she dropped it for the conspiracies, and she's happy. That's entertaining, that's good, that's fueling the source of joy in the mind. I know something. And she also asks, why do you think your belief is better than my belief? There's no belief that is better than the other. There may be belief that gives you more comfort, like high self-esteem may be more pleasurable than low self-esteem, but they equal. They all beliefs. They all glasses, clouds, masks. The non-duality is different than belief systems and religions because it questions beliefs. Who are you without the belief? Who are you without the thought I'm the body? Who are you without the thought I need the body for emotions? Who are you when you stop believing anything? Find out the truth directly, not through the interpreting devices, not through the translation of your own set of algorithms, that set of conditioning that has been picked up along the way, that tells you what everything means. What is life? What is the experiencing, the being directly, without clouds of the interpretation, translation. But if someone is happy in their boundaries, there is a God, or there is a Virgin Mary, or there is a reincarnation, or any sort of, there is future, past, any sort of beliefs, and they are not moved to question it, I don't see much of a point in challenging that. It's the suffering that usually bring people to look deeper. And it's usually the request in the spiritual world required for the guidance. So if you want to guide someone, let them ask you 3 times. Unless he's really asking, and you asking, you don't know what to say because he's really asking how to bite on it. Of course, then the answer is always direct. We had a visit from dear friends yesterday, and they used to come to the meetings, a couple, and the lady got clear. She doesn't need the meetings anymore, so she's embraced it with her heart. And her husband, he's more of a mind-oriented person. He understands the concepts. So now, if she's got the questions, he could actually answer it. But at the same time, seeing the world through the mind, he's convinced that he doesn't have the experience. It is impossible not to have the experience of being. Maybe possible for the corpse, but then there is no one there to really... But experience of being is there all the time. But if we believe that this experience has to be, and we then go to the mind and compare to the others and have expectations how it should be, then yes, of course, that subjective experience is that, no, I don't get it, or I don't experience it. The thing is, the mind always has the eagerness or the willingness to grasp it. I want to know, the mind, want to know how it is to be enlightened. But the enlightenment is there for granted the moment the mind is out of the picture. So it is almost as if the mind is actually the one that prevents, it is the veil that prevents the direct experience of being. Because when you try to grasp the being through the mind, the closest you get to it is the sense of nothing, void, emptiness. But that's not it, because being is alive, is vibrant, is full of, is bubbly, it's not a sensory experience, it's pre-sensory experience, but it's something that can't be denied. But it's almost, the head can't get it, but drop down, out of the head, drop to the heart or to the gut, wherever you want it, just out of the head. And it's undeniable, it's always there, ever present. So that's the way to answer someone if they have a strong concept. Okay, so what do you know without that belief? What do you know directly? What do you know without the thinking? There's always only one thing. I am. That's what is known. What I am, no. I'm the body, yeah, that's a thought. I'm the emotions, no, that's the thought. I'm the person, that's the thought. Without any label, existence can't be denied. What is it? Who is it? How is it? That already needs imagination, projection, ideas. So that's mind completes the sentence. Like, who am I? I am, that's the experiencing, and then mind completes the sentence, what goes behind it. I am a father, or the Australian, or whatever. But I assume he probably wants to know, since you are guiding him. But yeah, direct experience. It's no way around it. It's no way that we can grasp enough of the intellectual or logical explanation. That has to be direct experience. It can't be grasped with the mind. Mind is only pointing. Arthur, whenever I get scratched by a cat, I use iodine. I used to have dozens of cats and always kept plenty of iodine on hand. Bob likes the colloidal silvers, but we don't really get scratched by the cats. That's the first time in probably a few months. It's just because, I shouldn't kick her out of the chair. I should just get another chair. But yeah, shooting. It happened this way. Yeah, but thank you for the hint. We have the iodine also, but yeah, Bob usually likes the silver. And now I got lost a bit. Tanya, thank you so much, Bob, Kat, and Rohan. Listening to these words, I notice a taste of my true nature. So, not so much thoughts right now, noticing the peace, silent and stillness that I am. That's the way. That's the way. Mm. And now, Julia, I was suffering and had no idea to ask about non-duality. There is gratitude that someone pointed in a direction I was looking. Yeah, life resolves it. Life takes you where you need to be. Like life took Bob to the drinking, and then to AA, and that, it always finds a way. It takes you where you need to be. And yes, some people don't get there, and that's how life wants to experience itself. Life experiences itself through people who don't find the way. And because it is totality, it is everything, nothing is lost. Like if the one hair of the head falls off or doesn't get dyed, it doesn't matter, because the whole life is just getting every aspect. Johannes, when the belief I am the body is gone, what is left? All the beliefs arise because there is a body? Yeah, when the belief I'm the body is gone, what's left?
Life itself.
Yeah. Figure it out. And yeah, figure it out. That's all beliefs arise because there is a body. Yeah. And then when you look at the animals who don't have conceptualized belief, I am the body, they still know what's the good food for them or what's the bad food for them. They still function. They have sensory guidance through the world. So there is still a seeing of solid objects, even though there is no body here, so there is nothing out there. Conceptually, there is no story about what's going on. And the functioning still happens. It still flows. And occasionally the story comes. I need the grocery. Oh, how helpful. Sometimes when there is not much or zero narrative, it gets difficult because things don't get remembered. So maybe it does have a function. Maybe everything does. Alvaro, great cat, beautiful explanation. Muchas gracias. Welcome. It just comes out. And Patricia, thank you for being a company to me and a source of inspiration. Hi, Patricia. Catch up with us on Skype.
Hi, Patricia.
See you forever. Yeah.
Long time no see.
Long time no see. We miss you. And that's where we are with the questions. That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Should I ask you some question? Otherwise you're gonna fall asleep. Yeah, we had a big week, so Bob had quite a few visitors because we are out of lockdown, so everybody is gorging on his beautiful presence. A couple of times had a little bit of a deep meditation. So, ask questions.
Go on.
How are you?
I'm here.
Happy?
Why not?
Yeah. Happy to be the natural state. That's what happens when nothing obscures that. Unless, the body is in pain, then of course that's, Bob often reminds people that the pain is also a signal that there is attention required somewhere. Something needs attention, needs attending to. But if everything gets attended and there is no pain, the natural state is a happy state, natural, joyous, easy, appreciative of life. Now we have Julia. It would be marvelous if this body naturally was gravitated to the right foods. It seems that there is nothing more right than chocolate for breakfast. Yeah, guess what? I just had a cup of hot chocolate for breakfast. Yes. Why the mind worries often? God asking. Why is the mind worried? Yes. The worry.
Well, there's no such thing as mind apart from thought, but the belief that there is the person, and that person, the division into the person and the other, that's where the worry comes, the concern comes from. If you see the one essence, what's there to be concerned about? But the sense of separation brings about insecurity and vulnerability.
Yeah.
That's when you become insecure. And that's when the search really starts, because we're seeking to become secure and whole because we've taken on the belief that we were separate. But we didn't take on that belief until we learnt words. For the first couple of years of your life, your little baby was living without words.
Yeah.
It wasn't worried a bit too much. It would just do what was happening in the immediacy of it.
I'll join you right away. You just speak to me. Yes? The little baby.
I forgot it.
Hey?
I forgot.
You forgot? Why? I just wanted you to speak to the public. Bully. You're a bully. Yes? Yes, so why the mind worries? When you are a child and you learn words and you start identifying as a self, separate.
When you learn words, you take on the idea of separation. And from then, that insecurity and vulnerability is there.
Yeah.
So that's when the search starts, because we're trying to become whole or complete, not realising we were never separate in the first place. And the search that starts from then is an impossibility to become anything. Yeah. So that's why when you stop trying to become something and settle down into the basic presence awareness that you really are, and recognise that, then the search is over. But when the search goes on in that separate entity, trying to become whole when it was never separate in the first place, you can meditate as much as you like and pray and do all these things. But you can't become something. You are being right now. Being will never be becoming. So it just basically falls back into the looking. There's a recognition of what you actually are.
Yeah.
You are not unaware right now, right in this immediate presence, and awareness of that presence. And it's non-conceptual, as they say, ever fresh. Concepts are words we've learned. Ideas, images, concepts, vibrations, sound.
Yeah, that's what often the worry also is a translation of that vibration. You said the vibration in the body, yeah, it translates as the words, as sounds. So there is some sort of a vibration, and because this translating devices always wants to label it, it straight away gives it a story. There is some sort of a feeling in the body, and then there is an environment, and the mind straight away thinks, oh yeah, okay, so what's going on? How do we label it? Oh yeah, let's worry about, let's look around what to worry about. Oh, job, okay. So now the vibration goes in the body, And the mind interprets that I am worried about the job. But really what it is there is just a vibration. Or maybe there is something else in the environment. Oh, my kids. Or maybe something else, whatever. There is a vibration, and that vibration gets labeled. And again, as we said before, if there is a pain in the body, it means it needs attending. If there is a worry, that also is some sort of a signal that something perhaps in the immediate world needs attending. So there is also a positive aspect of it. It's just like in that beautiful quote from Nisargadatta that everything is love. And Bob often also say that the God is love and the love is God, so everything is God. There is nothing but it. So even the worry is a way love expresses. It expresses of us worry. Like if you think of being worried about whatever, your stomach or your partner or your finances or your future, anything, because it's always you. Even if you're worried about your cousin or aunt, it is only because you care about you. Because if you have everyone around you happy, then of course you is comfortable. So that worry is also attempting to serve the self, the sense of peace, comfort, joy, happiness. It all wants to provide for that self to be fulfilled, happy. So the motivation of worry, why are you worried? Because you care. Why do you care? Because of self-love. So instead of following the worry along the way, oh yeah, but what am I going to do about my boss or about that book I'm writing or whatever, just stay with the motivation. Why do I care? Yes, because there is a self-love. Stay with that feeling. Don't follow the outcome of it. Then you will have the greatest benefit of the impulse of worry without the suffering associated with the story attached to the worry. And from that place of rejuvenation, with that understanding that everything is love, you gain so much energy. Like Bob has that expression that when the bucket is full, it overflows. When you fill yourself up with that beautiful energy, it overflows. It starts sharing. And the things that needed attending, when you are full of that appreciation, they naturally resolve or get attended to. Whilst what we usually do and we learn that as children by modeling our caregivers, when they are worried, they lose energy. They worry more and they project dark scenarios and they feel inefficient or failure. And the result is such that they eventually end up depleted so badly that they scream in shame or they drink alcohol and self-medicate in any other ways. Instead of using that energy to actually come back to the motivation, to that self-love and, yes, this is good. Yes, I care. There is self-love. I am not deficient. I am not good enough. Because and just building up instead of losing it. The worry is, everything is love. The worry is just a story attached to the primarily good, positive motivation of expressing love in the way that later on gets misguided or gets toxic. Do you have any worries? No worries, mate. As the Australian saying. He was laughing when he heard me first time. I'll be actually in 3 days. There will be 8 years since I landed in Australia, and at some point I did use the expression "no worries, mate." He laughed. It's such an Aussie saying, and it's a good reminder because the worries are stories. Oh, how did you say it last night? You are a poet and you don't know it. Let's see if we have any inspiration. Great explanation of worry, Cat, bringing it back to love, rocks. Yes, everything is love. Bob told me that, Nisargadatta told me that, and I verified. And yes, can't get far away from that truth. at least on the level of motivation. And Rox, again, I'm reading backwards. It's okay, Kat, we still receive the beautiful Bob no matter where he looks. He likes you with him. Yeah, I've noticed that. Yes, Rox says that they still receive you no matter where you look. I wanted to actually get, share you more. And yes,
Yeah.
I want. I'll stay here. And thank you for saying that.
I can't see anybody here. So
I know. Yeah, it's not easy.
and I don't realise it.
I know. Yeah, we may have a meeting at home sometime soon, but Rox is far away. She'll still be on the computer with us, and Tanya and many others. But yeah, maybe it will happen. And we have. Matthew is trying to join this video with us. Not quite sure how you do that. How you join the video, like you would like to be on the screen? I'm not sure, because we have about 30 people now, but that's how we do it. We actually just read comments. I don't see a request. Why the mind worries often? Okay, I'll see request to join. There's some request. No, this is my request. Yeah, I think it will be on Bob's phone, the request to join. If we didn't have a real reference point for what freedom is, what would we be searching for? Very good point. What a good point. If we didn't have real reference point of what freedom is, what would we be searching for? Yeah, everyone was a baby once before we lost that freedom to a cage of concepts that we put ourselves in.
Yeah, the belief that you're separate.
That's right. So Aussies have no worries. Sounds great, Johannes says. And Julia, joining the video is something that Facebook Live offers if you are co-leading a meeting. I'll see, because I have my own phone and on Bob's phone the transmission is there. I'll see if I can do that. And Matthew says, just when in total formless bliss. I see if Matthew has that request sent here. I don't see any request. No, there is no request. Oh, maybe there is here. Matthew, okay, I'll try this one now. Okay, see if it works. I accepted request and see if Matthew will be with us. Nope. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. No. Okay, so Matthew says, oh no, Roxy says that Matthew is in, so we can't see him, but everyone else does. You won't receive the quest on your phone, it only comes on the person who started the streaming. Yes, I know, I've already accepted it on Bob's website, so I'm not quite sure how does it look like now, but Matthew, if you want to say something, go on. Oopsie. No, gone. and he doesn't see it. Matthew says he's not on, so I don't really know what to do. Matthew, you gotta call us, and maybe after the meeting or a little bit later or tomorrow we can just maybe work it out better how it works, because I did acknowledge request and people were actually seeing you. All good. We can see your conversation. Okay.
They can see it.
The conversation they can only see. Yeah, just give us a call maybe. Today, do we have anything? No. Even today or tomorrow, and we can work it out. We can just practice.
We don't see any faces of anybody anyway.
No, but he requested to join the video so that he would be on the video with us.
Here?
Yes.
In the pictures?
Yes.
Well, have to get on Zoom for that, wouldn't he?
No, apparently you can do it on Facebook also. And again, Matthew, you're welcome to join us on Zoom also. But that may be some ridiculous time for you. It may be some 3 in the morning or something. Zoom Zoom works for Europe. We have sometimes people from Europe, but from America is quite difficult. The comments, but not on the video. Let me get a hold of Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, whatever that means, sure. Yes, so we don't have any other questions for the moment. Maybe we can... I see. So Matthew was gonna reach out to the guy who is a founder of Facebook. I think he's probably quite a busy guy. So we're gonna go around. Any reminders? We have another few minutes to go, unless the question comes, unless we can just...
So what needs to happen to keep reminding yourself. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Yeah.
How would you renew your mind? Just keep reminding yourself that I am the Absolute already. I'm not that separate entity at all.
Yeah, it's only seeming separation. It only seems separated. The objects seem separated, like the bodies seem separated. It's just because of the calibration of the eyes, the way the eye is interpreting the picture. I mean, the brain is interpreting, but it's the frequency. We know that other animals, they can see different spectrum. There are animals that can see infrared. They see very, very well at night. Things are different for them. And there's probably different boundaries because, there are also that, I think that's the infrared which interprets the temperature of things. So the boundaries of things are different. Where the points of separation, which are always assumed, are also different. Even the way we touch things, there's not really even a touching there. The same with the sounds. They're all waves. It's like the whole world is made of interpretation of the wave pattern. Like there is a couple of million bits of information going to the processor, through the main processor, every second, and only consciously only certain amount get processed, and the rest get deleted, distorted, whatever, just out of the picture. So whatever gets processed constitutes the personalized world, but it is just made of the assumed assumptions, interpretations. now we got the Cha. I am you, you are me, we are thee. I am you, you are me, we are thee. You're the poet, you don't know it. Yes. Yeah, that's exactly how things get separated. I here and you there. That's the labels, the tree of knowledge, as Bob was saying. The knowledge, you know what knowledge of good or evil, or knowledge of the pairs of opposites, because good and evil is just an example. You and me is another example, black and white, or whatever. They're just discrimination, distinguishing, separating, dividing. That's the language, that's what it does, labeling. And out of that comes the beautiful, colorful diversity of forms that can all be appreciated and loved and admired. All the dance of Shakti, the colorful dress of Maya, dancing, and comes from that capacity to interpret objects as separate. That's nothing bad. It becomes painful, it causes suffering only when that interpretation and relationship to the me happens. Things are not good or bad unless you think or you make it so. Thinking makes it so. Yeah, thinking makes it so. So without the thinking, and if I say this is good and this is bad, I'm relating it to me. This is my opinion. For someone else, that is good and this is bad. It is always in the relation. Useful, not useful. Pleasant, not pleasant. It always takes the relationship. So relating things and judging things in the relation to the fictitious center or imagined phantom persona or something, that causes the suffering. The fact that there is a diversity of objects, seeming objects, because they really not, the wave of probability that is being interpreted, that doesn't cause any pain or any suffering, unless, of course, there is a survival instinct in the body. If the animal get their leg pulled out, it causes pain, but not necessarily suffering, because suffering is a resistance to pain. The pain is there, and the dealing with pain, the requirement for the attending is there. And no suffering. Where are you?
Gone.
Gone with the winds. Yeah, we could actually just have a couple of minutes in the silence, because we have some thank you messages already coming. So we can just let the silence sing. That's where the ultimate answer is. When the mind stops, when the chatter stops. And then even if it is there, silence is not obscured.
You've got to kick-start it to get it going again.
Yeah. Yeah, if you abide in silence, you're going to kick-start it to get it going again.
Well, I'll close it down.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. And yes, we've got thank you messages. And Rox says, go and have a lovely lunch here. We have beautiful lunch. We have a couple of different salads, and some friends took us to a Polish store, and we got a really wonderful sweets there for dessert.
There is nobody who is not already that.
Yes.
Even if you don't believe it yet, or think you don't see it, because that's all there ever is. Silence, stillness, emptiness. Beyond where, when, how, why, or what for.
And if there is a doubt floating in the sky, just let it float, let it be, unaltered, unmodified, uncorrected, and it will go away. They don't last long.
Yes. Nothing fixated.
Yes, we have a lot of beautiful love messages and thank you messages and wishes for a good day for everyone. And Julia says, yes, nobody to wake up. That's right. So, have a beautiful day, everyone, and thank you.
Thank you.